All right, let's try this again. I'm gonna invite Miss Kataluna. Yay!
Hello.
How are you? Let's just give like a couple minutes, get everybody on. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? You look gorgeous.
Good to see you. You look beautiful. I'm so glad this worked. It's like my first time doing a live, so I was like, oh, I hope this right. I think it might have been the Wi-Fi, so I got connected to this business center, and hopefully we're good to go now.
Awesome.
All right, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for joining in. This is episode 3 of the Queen Factor podcast, where if you don't already know, we talk about all things being a queen. And I don't just mean in the pageant world, although our interview today is with pageantry's finest. I mean being a queen in your everyday life, whether it's speaking like a queen, having that positive mindset, thinking queen-like thoughts. How do we carry ourselves? How do we engage in community service and make a difference in our community? And bettering yourself, your health, mentally, physically. So these are all qualities of a queen and exuding that queen-like energy. And no better example of someone who exemplifies all those qualities than Miss Kataluna here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Me too. So you guys, we met last year at Miss California in the beginning of 2020 before everything went crazy. And honestly, it was just such a pleasure to compete with you that weekend and get to know you a little bit. And then I actually was there while you were crowned Miss Silver State. So excited. And then she went on to win the big one, Miss Nevada USA. So let me just introduce you properly here. Kataluna Enriquez is a healthcare admin, a fashion designer, and owner of Kataluna Couture. At a young age, Kataluna fought multiple challenges in her life, and now she uses her life experiences and shares it in her platform, #BeVisible, a campaign encouraging everyone to live their most authentic lives to combat hate through vulnerability. I absolutely love that. As a survivor of physical and sexual abuse and a proud trans woman of color, she aims to break barriers and represent those who aren't always represented, and continues to support numerous nonprofit organizations and LGBTQIA+ youth. Kataluna recently made history by being the very first trans woman to win Miss Nevada USA, you guys, and the first who will be competing at our 70th edition of Miss USA. That is just history in the making. I got chills watching you be crowned. I'm literally just so overjoyed for you. So how did it feel? What was going through your mind when they called your name as Miss Nevada USA 2021?
You know, it was such an exciting night, and I honestly didn't have things in my mind. My first one, everyone was so deserving, and my first one, Brittany, who is an African American and Asian or Filipino American woman as well, was so great and did such an awesome performance as well during that night. And so I thought that it could be any one of us. And when they announced my name, well, first they were like announcing who the first runner. I was like, don't say my name, don't say my name.
Right.
But I was happy and I was shocked, and I'm thankful and I'm honored. And it's been a crazy month so far, and it's been an exciting reign so far, and I'm so thankful.
It was honestly such a beautiful moment. You looked stunning. You guys, she created her gowns. You have to go look at her page or online. She's everywhere. You got to check out her beautiful gowns. But it was really such a beautiful, inspiring moment. And I'm so glad we got to share this with the pageant community, and that you're breaking barriers not only in Miss USA organization, but for all people of color, all trans women, trans people in general. So it's just wonderful. Love your mission, and I love everything you stand for. So let's get into some more questions. How did you even get started in pageantry? When was your first one?
You know, I started competing in trans pageants first, and my first one was Queen of the Universe, I believe. But before then, when I started competing, I thought I used to view pageantry as very superficial and it was objectifying women. But then I've learned to look beyond just a pretty face. That a woman can be beautiful and at the same time be inspiring, be powerful, be motivated, be an activist, be a leader, be everything that they want to be. And that's something that we're still lacking in today's society. I think we're still stuck to this idea that a woman is simply just a title when it can be so many things. And that's why I love pageantry, and that's why I enjoy, especially the Miss USA organization. It's continuously expanding what it means to be beautiful and what it means to be a woman. And that's something that I wanted to be a part of.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. As a pageant competitor myself, I feel like people assume it's a beauty pageant. That's just the term that I guess it started out as. But the whole point is that everyone there is a beautiful woman and they accomplish so much. There's so much more behind our exterior, behind our fitness. We have goals, aspirations. There's huge, very impressive in jobs. People like you have your own business, your own fashion company. So there's literally so much more to it, and you exemplify that so well. So speaking of, can you tell us how you got started in your business in fashion, or what got you started in fashion?
So I started, when I graduated high school, I went to fashion school, but beyond that, at a very young age, I was just very into making things. I wanted to be an engineer, but then I realized I suck at math so bad. And I always loved fashion. And when I was young, because I couldn't have dolls growing up, I couldn't play with girls' dolls. Uh, I would sneak into I would lock the room where all my sister's toys are, and I would play, and I would cut my socks and turn them into dresses. So at a young age, I was very, very creative, and I made my own toys because I wasn't allowed to play with certain toys. And just growing up, I realized that I love being creative and I love expressing myself through arts. And I just happened to love fashion as well. And so I led into fashion. But I started my business specifically because when I started competing, I couldn't find anything that fit my body because obviously I'm a trans person. But also, I didn't have the money to be able to afford to present myself, to have a gown, to have a wardrobe. And so I started my business, and I realized along that way that many people and women face similarities or experiences in me in terms of not able to afford a gown or not being able to afford anything or find something that fits their body. And I think that was one of my main goals and why I started my business as well.
I think that's beautiful too, because also pageantry can be so expensive, and you see women at Miss USA or Miss Teen USA spending thousands and thousands of dollars on gowns. And I personally have never related to that just because I didn't come from a lot like that either. So it was, I was always off the rack, or what can I do to make this dress look more expensive than it is, faking it till I make it. But I absolutely love the mission that it's, there's not always something that's going to fit everybody, and for you to just take it into your own hands and then be able to exude your creativity through that is such a great mashup. So speaking of, we've talked about your childhood a little bit growing up. What are some challenges that you did face growing up or that you still might face today as a trans woman of color?
There was many things from like a young age. I was constantly just bullied. I was never a specific thing. So it was like, you're not a boy, you're too feminine, but you're not a girl, and you're never fitting into a certain category, which traumatized me at a young age. And at one point in my life, I just wanted to die. I just wanted to never wake up and just end it. I prayed that I would just never wake up one day. And throughout my journey in transitioning, I was bullied. I was refused to use any of the restrooms. I was constantly thrown things, thrown names, thrown objects, threw things at school, and I was not allowed to be myself many times at home. And so I would hide, and I would have a second identity when I would go to school. But then school was my freedom. It was especially because I was in an academy called SLAM. This was San Leandro, Academy of Multimedia. And in that place, I was able to grow and really push myself as an individual and showcase what I know through my art and through my creativity and who I can be, rather than my identity or rather than what you see in the outside. And I was able to show myself through the inside, and that was one of the things I'm thankful for. But those are some of the challenges that I've experienced growing up, and I still experience many of those things, and that's why I advocate for trans rights and equal rights and discrimination all in all.
Part of your overcoming that adversity is getting to show through your creativity and showing your inside through your own fashion and whatnot. But what are some other ways that you had to dig deep to overcome that adversity, or what do you say to your haters?
Like one of the hardest thing, I've always questioned myself, like, how did you go from this to that? But I think that pathway was just healing, finding myself, finding who I am and creating a way to make peace within my body and my soul and everything about me. Knowing that my past does not determine who I will be in the future, and knowing that society's definition of what I can be is not going to be what I will be. I have everything that I need to be, and I am everything that I need to be able to be the person that I want, to be able to grow, to be able to be human. And so for the haters, if I could say anything, let's see. I think hate is rooted from anger, and the opposite of hate or anger is to heal, to love. So if you are spreading hate, I think it's important that you look into yourself. Everyone at one point in their life needs to heal, and everyone has some sort of baggage that they need to work on. So if you're out there just throwing hate to everyone, regardless of what's going on, regardless of where you are in life, if you're throwing hate, then you should look into yourself and see how you can heal.
Right.
Learn from people and learn from other perspective. Understand people who are suffering, understand from people who may not be experiencing the same thing from you, and maybe learn from that.
Totally. I think if we open our minds and open our hearts to people that maybe just aren't exactly like us, we can learn so much more and begin to even accept the differences within us. I don't know if you watched this season of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, but they had a little talk show as one of the episodes last week, and they just said, you're talking about how, you know, growing up doesn't have to affect necessarily the decisions you make now and who you are now, and they said, don't let that hurt child make your adult decisions. And I just love that you were able to grow out of that, and even though there's still times when you feel those challenges, you can recognize now your worth and who you are and find that peace inside.
That's why I also use my platform #BeVisible on my campaign, talking about vulnerability and my experiences in life. I think the more that we have these conversations, the more that people can be aware and people can understand the opposite side or the perspective that we don't always talk about.
Right, it's just having the conversations and talking to it, and then you can meet so many different people and learn so much about things that you weren't going to be exposed to, or if you didn't put in that time and effort. Okay, so speaking of pageants, the Queen Factor, like I said earlier, is all about how pageantry and just those skills, learning and honing in on those skills that are involved in pageantry, presenting yourself in a confident way, speaking confidently, having a platform or some way that you impact your community. How has competing in pageants shaped you into the Kataluna we see today?
Oh, great question. Pageantry has shaped me to be the very confident and unapologetic person that I am now. Pageantry has shown me that I can be beautiful and I can be myself regardless of what people identify me as or define me to be as. I get to control that, and I get to be who I am and show that to the world and use my voice to represent not just myself but represent other people. And so that's why I'm very thankful with pageantry and the sisterhood. Absolutely. That's one of the things I'm very thankful to, as well as because now that I have a very gorgeous, beautiful girl who's just supportive and understanding and uplifting you with your journey and uplifting you with your goals in life.
Yes, that's definitely another pageant myth, is that the girls are super catty towards one another. I will say I've met some of my best friends, my sisters. I've gotten to meet you through pageantry. So all those women are so supportive, and it's just such a lovely community to where you get to really show who you are. And I love that you said unapologetically you, because that's all I'm about these days. You don't worry about what everyone else says. It's about being true to yourself. And I just absolutely love that. Okay, so what did you say?
And that's what an empowered woman is, and that's what pageantry is about.
That's what self-empowerment is. Self-empowerment and then empowering other people as well. I absolutely love it. Okay, so this is the last deep question, then we'll get to some fun stuff. What piece of advice would you give someone who is struggling to find their confidence, maybe someone growing up in their transition, or just in general, someone who's not feeling that confidence in themselves? What's a piece of advice you'd give for them?
Ooh, to just love yourself. One of my favorite quotes is from Alan Turing, who was a gay man who is the founding father of what we now call a computer. And he once said that sometimes it is the one that no one's imagined anything of who does what no one can imagine. And if I could go back in time, and if someone would have told me that one person who wanted to die, who prayed to die, who was bullied, who was harassed, who was sexually a victim of sexual and physical abuse will one day get to represent people and will get one day to have their voice be heard in the Miss USA stage, I would have never believed that. And to have that reality now, it's inspiring for me, but also it's a chance for people to know that there's so much possibility that's out there, and there's no limit on what you can do in life as long as you believe in yourself and you love yourself.
Oh, so beautiful. I love it. Absolutely. Okay, so Miss USA is coming up very soon in Tulsa, Oklahoma. When is it? In November?
November 29th.
But not us, no. I'm sure lots of preparation going into it. So how is that going? Do you have your dress? Have you been working on it with someone? I remember you saying you wanted to collab maybe with another designer. Give us the details.
Yeah, so I am working on, so I'm going to be making 2 gowns. One will be a collaboration with the Nevada sponsor, but the other I will be making myself. And again, there's going to be huge representation and a huge story beyond the dress, and also just the wardrobe in general. There's going to be a story in every element. And I'm excited. Preparation is going to be easier. I'm actually, my mannequin is somewhere right here, and I'm working on my my state costume, because that is one thing that we're bringing back this year, and I'm so excited for that.
That's so exciting, I know. And if you guys didn't already look, go onto her page, her gown for Miss Nevada USA. First, there was a full reveal in the preliminary gown, and then the second one, she made the most beautiful sequin rainbow gown to represent an LGBTQ community. So it's just stunning. You have to go check it out, and I cannot wait to see your next creation. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be following along. I'm just so excited. I already have been following your journey, so I just can't wait to see you up on that stage, making history again. So last couple questions here. What projects do you have coming up other than Miss USA, or where do you see yourself in the next few years?
In the next few years, I'm hoping to be in the entertainment and fashion industry, somewhere maybe in Met Gala.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe somewhere breaking another history, maybe being in Dancing with the Stars. I don't know, but the limit is unlimited, and there's so many possibilities that I can do, and I can't wait to do that. But in terms of projects and goals, I'll be working with numerous organizations in Nevada and throughout the state, really, working with LGBT youth and youth in general, full Miss Youth, and really just representing my community.
That's awesome. You're definitely active out there in the community, making a difference in Nevada, and honestly, all around the world. You represent so many different groups of people, and just getting to see everyone come together and support you. And I know you're going to have such a big fan group at Miss USA and hopefully Miss Universe. So I'm so excited for you. Okay, our last few little, I like to do a fast 5 fun facts. Here we go. Swimsuit competition or evening gown?
Ooh, evening.
Evening gown. She's a lady. She's beautiful. What's your sign?
Taurus.
She's a Taurus. She's strong. And do you like dogs or cats?
For me, dogs, because I can be the only cat person in one's life.
Your name is. I love dogs too. And okay, what's your current show? Are you binging anything? Your favorite show?
Oh, not at the moment, because I've been busy just preparing myself. But if I were to be watching something, I always binge on something nerdy. So Marvel shows or dinosaurs.
Love Marvel. Dinosaurs are so cool. And what's your go-to Starbucks order?
I usually go for a matcha latte, but Tiana, former Miss Nevada as well, showed me or shared a little spice in there. So if you throw a little chai latte in there with the matcha, it tastes so good. And I can't wait to just devour that. So
I'm gonna have to go get one because I love chai tea and I like matcha, so I feel like the combination, that's a good one. Okay, thanks, Tiana. All right, we're gonna wrap up here. I just wanna, again, thank you so much for joining me here today. I cannot wait to watch the rest of your journey getting ready for Miss USA, to watch you take the stage in just a couple months. It's so exciting, but you truly are an inspiration to me and to everyone in this community, and I'm just so proud of you and so happy for you to watch you keep growing and shining up there. So again, thank you so much for joining me.
oh, thank you. Thank you for being so kind. I remember when we started Miss California, you were one of the first people that reached out to me on social media, and that was really heartwarming, because when I got to Miss California, I didn't know anyone. When I saw you, I was like, wait, I know this person. And so I'm really thankful that you did that.
Yes.
And I have a question. Are you competing this year?
I will be competing at Miss California in like a month. It's so
Oh,
soon. Yes, so I will be there. I'm excited. I'm down to the wire now, so I'm in the gym. You know the deal.
for you.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited. So I know it's right around the corner. So we're both
I
prepared.
got this.
New fun stuff. So thank you again so much. I'm sure we'll be in communication moving forward. I just can't wait to keep following you again. Thank you everybody for joining us. This has been the Queen Factor episode 3 with the lovely Miss Nevada USA Kataluna. We're gonna adios and see our way out of here. Thank you guys again.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.